Determine the best interval to describe where the function below is continuous. Our function of x is equal to the square root of the quantity 49 minus x squared, which is a semicircle, or the top half of a circle that is centered at the origin and has a radius of 7. So let's actually draw it. So our graph is going to look something like this. Let's go through all of the criteria to see whether or not this function is continuous. First, does this function exist for all x values within the interval -7 to 7? Because all of these have those two values in it. So let's first start off with the open interval, and we'll work our way to see how narrow we can go. Well, we see throughout our function there are no asymptotes nor holes in the graph. Therefore, our function does exist for all a values, for example, within the interval from -7 to 7, not including the endpoints. The next question is, does the limit of f of x as x approaches a exist for all a values on the interval from -7 to 7? I mean, it actually does. If we were to select an a value, let's say 0, as x approaches 0 from both the left and the right, the function value approaches +7. And we can see that as the limit approaches any a value within this interval, it does approach the function values within this interval. So far, this does exist. We know that f of a exists. That's what we looked at first. Now the question is, does the limit of f of x as x approaches a equal f of a for all a values within this open interval from -7 to 7? It actually does. Whether I pick an a value of -2, -1, 0, 1, or 2, if I take the limit of x as x approaches, say -2, I approach that exact function value, f of 2. Same would occur at -1. Same would occur at 0, 1, and 2, or whatever a value you select from the open interval from -7 to 7. So all of the parameters for continuity are fulfilled for this graph. Now let's check for continuity at the endpoints to see if one, both, or none of them fulfill the continuity requirements. So does the limit of f of x as x approaches -7 from the right, does that equal f of -7? Well, if we look as we're approaching -7 from the right, we are approaching a function value here of 0. So this gives me a value of 0 on the left, and if I evaluate our function at -7, we would get 49 minus -7 squared is also 49. So you do end up getting 0 here. So far now, this has been ruled out, and this one could possibly work. Since the left endpoint is included, we can also rule out answer choice B. Now the question is, does the right endpoint also work? And if so, then D will be our final answer. Let's check it out. So we're going to do the limit of f of x as x approaches positive 7 from the left. Does this equal the function value at positive 7? Well, the function value at positive 7 is going to be 49 minus 7 squared, which is 49, which is 0. And now as we approach 7 from the left, we are approaching a function value or y value of 0. So this also works. Therefore, both the left and right endpoints are included. So the correct answer here is answer choice D. The closed interval from -7 to +7.